on the trigger, Junior. Oh, he's pulling too. Holy moly. Man, he got me pinned. Got me pinned at the moment. I haven't retrieved any line or nothing. Man, that fish hit like a ton of bricks. Wow. I want to see this one. This one feels big. Feels like a big dog. We'll see. Perch pattern trigger, Junior. Had a feeling about that and paid off. So far, so good. Oh, this is a nice rainbow here. Big fish. Big fish. Come on. Not under there. Four pounds, guys. 4 pounds. Man, that is a hog. Wow. Look at that guy. That is a big fish. Wow, what a stud. He even revived here. Wow. Today, we are going to talk about trout spoons, but before we do, if you're not familiar with this channel, let me introduce myself. My name is Kel Kellogg. This is the FHS Fishing Channel, and it is Thanksgiving Day. It is the one day of the year when calories do not count, which is awesome. You can eat that turkey, eat those mashed potatoes, eat that stuffing, have 2 or 3 pieces of pie, and spend a day sitting on the couch watching football with family. Total awesomeness. I figured I'd put up a video today in case you're bored during the game, or maybe it's halftime and you wanted to watch a little trout fishing content. I said, hey, what better thing to talk about in late November than spoons? Spoon trolling, spoon casting, spoon jigging. You can do everything with spoons. They are super versatile. Before we get into the spoons, you see I'm dressed in my Carhartts today. It is absolutely beautiful here in the Sierra foothills. The fall colors are popping. The sky is crystal clear and blue. We got a little breeze. It's all awesomeness, but I've got a chore to do today. I managed to get my old F-150 stuck aside of my driveway. I tried to get it unstuck and it keeps getting worse, and now it's kind of leaning off the edge of the driveway, and I'm afraid if I keep fooling around with it, I'm going to get it all the way off the driveway. It's kind of steep down there. So when I get done filming this video, I'm going to get a tow truck out here and jerk that truck out of the mud. But before we do that, let's talk about trout spoons. So, you know, every trout angler, whether they're a bank fisherman that casts lures, a hardcore troller, a stream fisherman, they've all got spoons, and the reason for that is real simple. They are super versatile. They mimic a bait fish. They're simple to fish. You can cast them out and reel them in, throw them out behind the boat, drag them around, and eventually a trout is going to hit them because it looks like something that's good to eat. Puts off flash, puts off vibration, and it has a very minnow-like shape. Checks all those boxes for a trout that's looking to feed. I'm convinced that the first interaction trout have with our lures is the vibration factor. They feel that in their lateral line, and that's good for us right now because we've had a fair amount of rain. We've got some color in the water at most of our lakes. So I think when a trout comes into your spread, they're attracted by that vibration, and then they're going to move in until they get a visual lock on to whatever it is that they were feeling in that lateral line. Hopefully the color, the size, the shape, and the flash is right. They strike, you're smiling, fish on, maybe you let them go, maybe they get to go home for dinner, who knows. The bottom line is spoons catch trout. There's a lot of spoons available on the market. I offer a full line of spoons, and I want to talk about my method of fishing, okay? I'm not a random fisherman. I was taught how to troll for trout by some of the best trout trollers in the world, if not in the world, certainly on the west coast of the United States. And over the past 25 years, I've drawn bits and pieces from all of those expert anglers, and I've compiled them all in my mind. I've compiled them all in my notebooks, and what I came up with was a systematic approach to trout fishing. I don't just troll fast. I don't just troll slow. I try to assess the temperament of the fish combined with the conditions on any given day, and then come up with a presentation that offers me the best possibility of success. And that's why I've designed a set of spoons that you can run all the way from slow speeds, 1.5 miles an hour or so, all the way up to and beyond 3 miles an hour. All right? Chicken and the egg kind of situation. The method came first, and then I designed spoons to fill into the method. These are my fast trolling spoons right here. These are speed spoons, solid brass. They weigh a ½ ounce. You could troll them fast. If you're a caster, you can cast them far, ½ ounce. You can reel them in fast with a lot of pauses, twitches, jerks, stuff like that. Really draw those reaction strikes. And if you're a kayaker or a boater or fishing off a dock or whatever, these spoons are very effective for vertical jigging. Just jig them up, jig them down, up, down, down. Pyramid Lake, you want to jig for trout, speed spoon right there. Extremely versatile spoons. Did I mention we're having a spoon Black Friday blowout sale right now? If you're interested in having some spoons that fit in with my method, get on over to fhsfishing.com. Check them out. We've got some killer pricing going on, and we've got some new finishes, which I'll talk about in just a second. So that's my fast trolling spoon. I'll run these anywhere from about 2.7 all the way up to 4 miles an hour at times. And they are a great offering for covering water, finding fish with, working structure with. It's just something that allows you to cover a lot of water. It has a very nice bait fish shape, comes in a wide array of colors. Enough said. If you like speedy shiners, you're going to love my speed spoon. They're just as good. I think they're better because they're more versatile. But anyway, that's for you to decide. So let me set those down. I got a whole mess of spoons sitting here. The other spoon that I want to talk about is the trigger spoon. This is my medium speed spoon. These spoons work at, anywhere from about 2.2, 2.3, all the way up to 2.7 or 2.8 miles an hour. This is my workhorse spoon. This is the spoon that I pull most often. You could pull it fairly fast. It's 2.25 inches long. That means it's big enough to tempt trophy fish, but small enough to catch those pan-sized fish. It is just a killer spoon. And this is the line that I actually have some new colors in. Let me show some of them to you. Some of these you might have seen before. I can't remember what's new and what's not. But, one thing, let's start with these metallics. This one right here is definitely new. I fish a lot with my wife, Gina. This is Gina's favorite. That's what we're actually going to call this one. It is real silver plate over a brass spoon with a hot pink 50-50 top. That dark over light, that the dual color on spoons really triggers strikes, because when a trout sees a bait fish, they expect to see that dark light contrast. Light on the lower half of the body, dark on the upper half. So anytime you have a 50-50 finish, it is just checking one of those boxes, instinctively for the trout that says that is something to eat. That is a bait fish. So if we look at the line of my 50-50s, we have the pink and silver, we have the 24 carat gold and chartreuse right there. Purple and silver right there. That one has been killing it at a bunch of different lakes. We've got the copper and orange, the silver and orange, and another copper and orange. I threw this one on here because I wanted to have one to pull off. Look at one of my spoons, one of my trigger spoons right here. They come with a VMC J hook, top-notch hardware. Guys ask me, what's better, treble or a J? Well, I'll tell you. You're going to hook more fish with a treble hook. You will. It's got 3 prongs versus 1. You're going to hook more fish with a treble hook. But you are going to land more fish on a J hook because when you get that J hook embedded, they hook up and they hold. So it's a bit of a trade-off, but overwhelmingly, the people out there in FHS country have told me they want their spoons to come with a high-quality J hook. And if you happen to go to one of those waters where you need to use barbless hooks or a single barbless hook, you're all set. Pinch down that barb, you're ready to roll. So you don't need to change the hook. So that's kind of the story on that. One of the things that really sets my spoons apart, and the trout know this, I don't know how they know this, but take my word for it, they know this, okay? My spoons are all real metal. This is real copper. It's copper, no big deal. It's real copper. It's clear coated. My gold spoons, like the 50/50 gold and chartreuse spoon right there, that is real 24 karat gold plate. And the backs of my spoons, I'll get one down here, where you see the silver, that is real silver. It's not nickel, it's not polished metal, it's not chrome, it is genuine silver. I make the investment in having the real metals as opposed to nickel or chrome because I don't know how they know, but the fish know. A silver spoon will almost always outfish a nickel spoon. A gold plated spoon, 24 karat gold, will almost always outfish a polished brass spoon. There's just something about the luster of real metal. Enough said about that. So those are my 50/50 triggers. These are awesome. And there's some colors here. I'm setting stuff down. I got a little shelf down there on my tripod. These are colors that some of you guys have never probably seen. So let's look right here. This is all backwards to me. This guy right here, that's familiar. That's a green fire tiger pattern. A lot of guys love fire tiger. But I have some other fire tiger patterns that are absolutely awesome. Came up with this combination myself. We call this guy right here Frankenstein. It's not only fun to fish, but if you're looking for something bright, UV, maybe cloudy water, enough said, put on Frankenstein, let him do his thing. Guys are catching a lot of fish on those in Oregon and Washington. If you run them here in Northern California, you're going to catch a lot of fish on those too. This one right here, this is kind of another variation of Frankenstein, but it's got, a little bit more subdued colors. It has that dark on the top, light on the bottom. It has the bars. Just a very attractive profile for predatory fish. Catch a lot of trout on fire tigers, catch a lot of bass on fire tigers. I'm all excited about this one right here. This is a new color for me. This is a rich blue and white fire tiger. Can you say bait fish? Can you say Berryessa, Folsom, Don Pedro? If you're at a big impoundment where there's a lot of bait fish, that blue fire tiger, it is going to be a winner. No one else has that. So if you're pulling that, the fish are likely going to see that for the first time. And I always say, show the trout something new and you have a much higher chance of getting a hookup because they do have a memory. They've seen, speedy shiners and needlefish and rapalas hundreds and hundreds of times if they've been in the lake for a while. Well, I guarantee you, they haven't seen that blue fire tiger before. So show them something novel, yell fish on. Pretty simple stuff. One of the tried and true favorites is always frog. I believe we've been sold out of frog for a while, but frog is now back in stock. I know because I just rigged a whole bunch of them. So that's the story there. I've got one more card of trigger spoons to show you, and then we're going to talk about some slow trolling spoons. Let me put this down. Here we go. I'm so organized, I can't even stand myself. I'm kidding. I'm a mess, but I do have my lures organized there. These are some of my UV bait fish finishes, and I love each and every one of these. They are fun to fish. Let's start off over here. This is fish scale clown. Okay, that was a deadly offering at Folsom this summer. I just love fishing clown. I like to say I'm catching them on a clown spoon, but that is a deadly finish. Now let's see, what is this one right here? This is more of a traditional kind of a shad color, but it has that chartreuse stripe. It's just a solid choice anytime the fish are feeding on bait. Any of these, foothill impoundments where there's a lot of bait fish, pond smelt, shad, whatever. Just a solid combo. Dark over light. It's got a little chartreuse in there. The water's stained. Enough said. That is a killer. And it's got that big giant eye on there. The eye. The eye is something the fish, the trout, expect to see when they're feeding on bait. It's one of the characteristics they look for. Like the dark over light coloration, they expect to see an eye. So I put a large prismatic eye on all of my spoons. And I was doing that long before I was ever selling spoons. I would get Castmasters and needlefish, and I had a spool of eyes, and I would put them on there, and I found I got more strikes if I had an eye. So now all my spoons come with an eye. It's not absolutely essential, but I'll tell you what, over the course of a year, over the course of your fishing career, if you're running spoons with a large prominent eye on them, you're going to hook more fish than you would have with just plain spoons. That's just the way it is. I've proven that to myself 100 or more times. Eyes are very important parts of spoons. Where were we? Oh, that right here. Tell me I don't have the sexiest rainbow trout finish available. It's UV. Look at that prominent pink stripe. I mean, this thing is it just screams, eat me. If you're at a lake where there are small rainbows, a place where you catch browns, stuff like that, big predatory trout, maybe a Mackinaw, maybe just a big rainbow, it's got 4 colors on there. It's UV. It has the spots. It has a big eye. It has that pink stripe, and it is awesome. This spoon right here, call this guy Purple Haze. Again, dark over light, big eye. That one is known to be money at Berryessa, and I caught my fair share of fish at Folsom on that finish as well. I've had guys take that up in the high country, cast it from the shores of lakes, and just absolutely kill them. So definitely one you should have in your box. And what are these last 3 here? Let's see. Oh, I've got the super natural bait fish pattern there. It's a scale finish, exact bait fish imitation. Some days that works real well. Some days, believe it or not, when they're feeding on bait, the exact imitation doesn't work as well as something that's more impressionistic like that. But that one is definitely fun to fish if they're feeding on bait. Hey, give it a shot. Match the bait, catch the fish, right? That's what I always say. Last 2 right here, very, very traditional. Hammered silver, hammered 24 karat gold. Low light conditions, gold, copper. Highlight conditions, like right now today, your chromes, chrome and purple, chrome and orange, that chrome and pink, or not chrome, silver. We're so used to saying that when we talk about spoons. But that silver and a contrasting color. When you got that high sky, you got a lot of light, go with the maximum flash. Dark conditions, overcast, early in the morning, late in the day, copper, gold, they tend to work very, very well. That's enough about the trigger spoons. So let's review. Speed spoons, anywhere from, 2.7 all the way up to 4 miles an hour if you're inclined to troll that fast. They work very well. That's one you can cast from shore very well. You can jig it. Great offering at the high end of the speed spectrum. Medium speed, 2.2, 2.7, 2.8. The trigger spoon, it can also be cast from the shore. It's fairly thin though, so you're not gonna be able to cast it a country mile, but as I said, guys up in the high country have been using that spoon and really putting a whooping on the trout. Let's talk about an overlooked class of spoons. To wrap this up, we're gonna talk about slow trolling spoons. Let me grab them. I know, don't plug your ears. It's okay. You're not gonna turn into a pumpkin. I know. All the cool kids, they troll fast. If you're not trolling fast and you're not using side planers, you're not a cool kid. Would you rather catch trout or would you rather be a cool kid? If you'd rather catch trout, you need spoons to troll fast. You need spoons to troll at a medium speed, and you need spoons to troll at a slow speed. These are two of the most effective spoons I've ever fished, and we do sell them. We sell quite a few of them, but we don't sell nearly as many of these as we sell speed spoons, and that's simply because anglers are super interested in fast trolling. Your brother trolls fast. That guide trolls fast. Your cousin trolls fast. That man that met the man that met the man that met Andy Griffith, he trolls fast, so we're all trolling fast. But sometimes slow is better than fast. When the fish aren't willing to chase a spoon that's going 3 miles an hour, they may still be willing to hammer a spoon going 1.5, 1.8, 2 miles an hour. So that's where these spoons come in. These ones that are a little broader, these are my Trigger Spoon Juniors. We've caught fish up to and beyond 10 pounds on Trigger Spoon Juniors. And these guys right here in the center, these are extremely versatile. These are the pinheads. You've seen them here on the channel before if you watch the channel. That is a spoon that you control slow, medium, or fast. Very small profile, but if you look at it on edge, it's a fairly stout spoon. It weighs a full 1/8 of an ounce. That's another spoon that is a winner if you're a bank fisherman or a stream fisherman. You can cast that a pretty good distance with a spinning rod. Think 1/8 ounce Castmaster. Enough said. It has an awesome action, and that spoon came to life as a jigging spoon in Sweden. Okay, what they were doing with it, they're dropping it down through a hole in the ice. They were tipping it with a maggot, piece of corn, piece of night crawler. Do they call worms night crawlers in Sweden? I don't know. Whatever they call it, they were putting a little piece of it on there, and they were jigging it. And they were catching fish on it. And quick story about that spoon. So I'm at Collins Lake a while back. It was spring. Was it last spring or the spring before? Can't remember exactly. But anyways, I went down, I set up the boat's ready to roll, and I'm walking off the dock, and it's 5 a.m. It's still dark. And I thought to myself, well, heck, I wonder if there's some crappie around. So I grabbed a spinning rod that had a little tiny pinhead on it. And I'm standing on the dock in front of my boat. And luckily for me, I'll put a picture of this beast up. I had a net there, right? I got my net there. And I drop it down all the way to the bottom. It's like 30, 35 feet deep. I'm jigging it. Nothing. Reel it up a little more, jigging more, nothing. Up. When I'm about 6 feet below the dock, I'm jigging it. And the spin, it just gets tight. No bite, just tight. And my first thought was, I'm on a dock. There's ropes and wires and crawdad traps and who knows what else down there. I thought, well, shoot, I think I hooked a rope. And just as I thought that, it comes to life. Oh my. It goes down, goes under my boat, and runs out into open water. And that's the only reason I landed this fish. If it had gone left or right, it would have got tangled in something, but it shot right out to the safety of deep water. I worked on that fish, I have no idea how long, 20 minutes maybe? I had a spinning rod with 6-pound test on it. So finally I get the fish back vertical, and I start working it up. I got my headlamp on. I get it up. It is a huge, I knew it was a catfish, but it is a huge catfish. By far the biggest catfish I've ever hooked. So I scoop it into the net, and I wanted to get some video of it. So I said, well, I'm going to put it in the live well. So I fire up the live well on the boat. It won't fit in the back live well. So we got a front live well that's bigger. So I turn that one on, and I get the fish in there. I leave the live well running. So I go back, round up my clients. It's light now. I tell these two old boys, I says, hey, before we go fishing, I want to shoot a little video of this catfish because the thing's massive. And they're like, what, like 10 pounds? I said, no, more like 25 pounds. They're like, no way. I'm like, way. And so I got my scale from camp and go back out, and I put this bad boy on the scale. It was just a whisker under 25 pounds. It was like 24.12 as near as I could tell. Absolutely beastly. But here's the deal. Let's go back to the beginning of this story. The pinhead spoon, you can troll it at a variety of speeds. You can cast it, you can jig it, and just because you're trolling a big spoon Don't think you can't catch a big fish. Let's see a show of hands. How many guys out there in FHS country have got a 25-pound catfish on a lure? I have. It was total luck, but I did it. And I did it with that tiny little spoon because that catfish was creeping around those docks. He was looking for, trout guts and old night crawlers. And he saw something that looked like a little minnow and he sucked it in. And I could tell by his reaction, he was as surprised as I was because the rod bent. And for a little gap of time, he did nothing and I did nothing. And then it was game on. And the fishing gods were with me that day and I landed that huge fish. And he is still in Collins Lake because I let him go. Did a little research. I determined that that fish was at least 25 years old. That's an old fish. A big old fish. He's eaten a lot of minnows and trout and everything else, I'm sure. Anywho, I'm Kel Kellogg. That is my little diatribe, my little instructional talk about spoons. First comes the method. You need lures that you control fast, medium, and slow. You need lures that range from small to large. Notice as I went faster, for the most part, the lures got larger. As I went slower, the lures got smaller, okay? The method comes first. That's the chicken. The egg is all the lures you present, and you need to have the spoons that allow you to fish systematically. You need spoons that'll go slow, medium speed, fast speed, variety of colors, bright spoons, metallic spoons, UV spoons, dark spoons like that frog pattern. Check all those boxes, have all those categories in your tackle box, and you will be ready to meet any conditions you find yourself confronted with out on the water, okay? You need to be a methodical fisherman that fishes systematically, and you will see your catch rate, go up by a large margin. And you will also be able to put fish in the boat on days when most of the other fishermen on the lake are getting skunked. And I'll tell you what, you go out on a day when everybody else got skunked and you put your clients or yourself on 6 trout and one of them's over 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 pounds, you look back on that day and say, you know what? It worked. It paid off. We did something today. We did something that nobody else on this lake did. You have a happy Thanksgiving. I'll be right back here on YouTube real soon. I'm going to go pry that truck out of the mud. And oh, by the way, very special video coming up on Sunday. I went on a winter fishing trip on the Truckee River, and it was absolutely epic. It was phenomenal. If you're not a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification. You always know when we're here talking about trout fishing. And don't miss that Sunday video because it is really, really cool. Underwater footage, snow, wind, sun, the whole deal. If you're looking for any of the stuff I mentioned, trigger spoons and more, you know where to go. FHSfishing.com. I'm Kel Kellogg. Have a great day. Happy Thanksgiving. 3 pieces of pie, guys. That's what it takes to catch trophy trout. 3 pieces of pie. Catch you later.